For all of your sports news in Lorain, keep watching WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Good afternoon and welcome to Johnnie Wilson. It's volleyball, 7th grade style, as the final game of the season for both Lorain middle schools. On your right and serving will be Longfellow Middle School. On your left and serving is Johnnie Wilson Middle School. You'll see that both jerseys are blue and both jerseys say Lorain. And that's fine because it's volleyball. They don't intermingle. But this is the final game. So we did the very first game for both of these teams back in early September, Joe.
Yep.
And it'll be very interesting to see seasonal growth.
Absolutely.
Getting ready to serve for Longfellow is number 14, Tatiana Marrero. Try and get some numbers for you. Ball up, ball short. And 1-0 Johnnie Wilson. For Johnnie Wilson, number 19, Haley Metlicka is the first server. She is joined on the floor by Hydea Swig at 26, number 8, April Torres, number 13, Raven Earl, number 23, Abby Carrington. Bump up and over. That one's going to be bumped out, and it's 1-1 on the out of bounds. And I'm going to have to try and get that final player for Johnnie Wilson. Looks like it might be Hannah Lurie, number 3. To the service line now for Longfellow, number 11, Yasmin Faria. Good overhand serve is a winner. 2-1 Longfellow. She is joined on the floor by 24, Nia Smith. 14, Tatiana Marrero in the back. The front row consists of number 8, Mercedes Rivera, number 27, Tatum Hall, and number 6, Destiny Velez. Bump Carrington overhand, back row picked up there, over, and we had a whistle, and the ball was played outside of the, or off the cable, so it'll go back to Johnnie Wilson at 2-2. Number 13 on the line, Raven Earl. Underhand serve, whistle, foot fault, I believe. Going to go over. And it will be 3-2 Longfellow. And overhand serve again by number 8, Torres, or excuse me, number 8, Mercedes Rivera is wide, and it's 3-all. And the serve will go back to Johnnie Wilson and Carrington. Abby Carrington, number 23, ball up, on its way over, bumped up, going to clear it, bumped back over, but out. So the serve will go back to Longfellow. And it's 4-3, and nobody has put 2 in a row together yet, Joe.
Yeah, I see that. Nice serve by Abby. It's too bad we couldn't keep it in play.
Longfellow, number 27, Tatum Hall. That's an overhand serve that's in play. Comes right back and then bumped over, punched over, but out. Good alert play by Tatiana Marrero, but that serve will go over, and we're at 4-4. Number 3, Hannah Lurie on the line for Wilson. Ball up. She's going to go the overhand style, and she's on the line as well. Okay. And one thing that you see here that you didn't see earlier in the year is you see that being enforced a little bit more,
right,
as the expectation for growth is there. Destiny Velez, overhand serve. Bumped up but out, off the scorer's table and over. And Longfellow takes a 6-4 lead. For the first time, we've had 2 in a row. That's what it takes to win. You got to win by 2.
Right.
Another overhand serve up, set, bump. And a little confusion there on the Wilson side, and it's 7-4 Longfellow.
Jay, you remember who won the first match? I don't recall.
I don't either. I know they split. I know the 7th grade won one and the 8th grade won the other. And I do not recall which way it went. There's a good serve and a bump, and recognizing where the ball is at in the air is a little bit of a problem there, and it's 8-4 Longfellow. Now, it's good to see these kids with the overhand serves toward the end of this season, because that's something that the high school coaches can work with. Bumped up, coming back over, Metlicka.
Nice.
Bumped over by Marrero, and 3 hits that didn't get there, and it's 9-4 Longfellow. Timeout Wilson. Now, Joe, just sitting here, and boy, this gym has got a decent crowd, but I can remember also the first game, it was packed for both games. And one thing that I'll say that both teams, are trying to be more fundamental with the dig and the pass rather than
to just get it over the net.
Yeah, just get it out of here before it explodes method. But one of the things that, if you talk to any varsity volleyball coach, they'll tell you, one of the most important things for kids to learn is to communicate on the floor.
And I heard that. The one ball, I heard at least 3 of them yelling out. That was good.
Right. The out is an important thing, but the other thing that's important as we see players running into one another is the mine or I've got it, or knowing your role and your position, and then taking what's yours and letting people know that you have it. It just saves so much confusion. Walking into the serve, ball up, ball over, but wide. So the strategic timeout breaks the serve there.
Nice run there by Longfellow.
It sure was. They scored 5 points. Johnnie Wilson. Number 8 is April Torres. 9-5 Longfellow. Ball up. That's a good serve. Bumped, passed, and then tossed over with 2 hands. Up and into the net. Right idea. Johnnie Wilson in the net. And that's going to make it 10-5 Longfellow. And for Longfellow, number 24, Nia Smith on the line. Ball up. Overhand serve is wide. Okay, it's funny, Joe, because one of the lessons I can remember reading in a book about Jack Nicklaus was Jack Nicklaus, when he was younger, was told by his teacher, swing as hard as you can, and we'll fix the mechanics there, as that serve goes into the net, and on the service error, it goes 11-6 Longfellow. And in essence, that's what you want these kids to do here with the overhand serve, is give the coaches something to work with. Okay, that's a good serve. Carrington bumps it up again, and Metlicka tried to send it back, but not far enough, so it'll be 12-6 Longfellow. If you won't try to serve it overhand, we can't fix it. Number 14, Tatiana Marrero. Ball up. That's blasted deep back row. Punched up by Swiggett, but nobody to home, and it's 13-6 Longfellow. Longhorns on a big bit of a run here. We were tied at 4. It's been 9-2 since then. Again, Tatiana Marrero. Sticking with the overhand. Into the middle, bumped up by Earl. Lurie, and then Carrington tried to tip it over and couldn't get enough on it. 14-6.
Yeah, just coming down at a bad angle for her.
Marrero deep, and that one's gone. That one's long, and on the service error, it'll go 14-7 Longfellow, and the serve will go over to Metlicka for the second time. Underhand serve variety, up over. Bumped right back over Raven Earl, Abby Carrington. Sends it deep. Marrero hit it, but off the arms the wrong way. Carries long, and it's 14-8 Longfellow. Haley Metlicka. Underhand serve, over, bumped up and over, back, and hits a dead spot and falls in, 14-9.
The first 3 in a row here. Bring him a little bit closer.
Absolutely. 14-9, Johnnie Wilson, first game. Best of 3 to 25. Bumped up there by Rivera, but out. And it'll be 14-10 Longfellow. 4 in a row for the ladies from General Johnnie Wilson. Underhand serve. Too deep for the front row, too short for the back row, and it's a winner for Metlicka, 14-11. Ball up again and over. Bumped up and then played into the net. Just unable, Destiny Velez was unable to get it at the top of her jump. And timeout Longfellow, as that 14-6 lead has been cut to 14-12 on 6 in a row by the ladies from Johnnie Wilson. And the two teams meet again. Part of this strategy in volleyball is just to stop the momentum of a hot server.
Right, yep.
And
it worked the last time when Longfellow called.
Yes, it
General
did.
Johnnie called it on Longfellow, so we'll see if they return the favor or not.
Absolutely, you know, and just it's a little time away from it. You get on a little bit of a roll in anything, and the timeout. It's the whole idea of the batter stepping out of the batter's box in baseball, or the pitcher throwing to first, just to change up on the batter a little bit. And that's what's happening here. 14-12 Longfellow, game 1 of best of 3. We played a 25, and you have to win by 2. Back on the floor comes Longfellow. Faria, number 11. Number 6, Velez. Number 27 is Tatum Hall in the front row. Haley Metlicka back on the line for Johnnie Wilson. Joined in the back row by Idea Swiggett, 26. Number 8, April Torres. Bumped up and over. Earl, back over. Faria watches it land on the line.
To the dismay of their coach.
13-14. And, you know, we were talking about communication there. She was left to make that decision on her own without any help. And you've got a bench right there, and you've got a back row person that can help that out. Bumped up there. Over by Rivera. Carrington. Bumped up. Carrington again, and that one's gone. That one was long, so that'll break it at 15-13, but a really nice run there by Johnnie Wilson, running off 7 points in a row. For Longfellow, Faria is on the line. Longfellow coach asking for a lineup check, which means let's make sure we're in order before he calls this on us.
That's right. He's a point.
Now Yasmin Faria ready to go. Ball up. Bumped up by Earl. Back across by Smith. Carrington puts it on the net, but nobody there. And it's 16-13 Longfellow. Faria, that one she gets a little bit in front of her and bangs it too low, and it's 16-14, and the serve goes over to Longfellow, or to Johnnie Wilson, and number 13, Raven Earl. Underhand serve, bumped up. Faria sends it over, right back, and coming back at you. on the one hand, Hannah Lurie with the winner. And Johnnie Wilson's got a chance to tie here. They had a chance at 14-13 and lost that point, so they haven't been even since 4. Serve, bumped up, and again, and comes down on the Longfellow side of the net, and we're tied at 16. Raven Earl, her third serve, trying to give Johnnie Wilson the lead. That one's up and over, and just ate up the receiver, and Johnnie Wilson has gone on top 17-16.
Came all the way back.
Earl again. Bumped up, coming right back at you. Earl, but misplays the reception, and tied at 17. We'll go back to Longfellow. And number 8 is Mercedes Rivera. Ball up. That one's going to be short.
I remember if it was the 7th or 8th grade. I know one of the games was like 30-28. It was like
I think it was one of the 7th grade games.
7th grade. Wow, we look like we're headed for that.
Abby Carrington for Johnnie Wilson. 18-17 Wilson. Ball up, ball over, bumped up. Lurie up and over, coming right back. Back at you.
Oh.
And that was the situation where I had 2 people here, I got it. And there were 3 people there, and everybody was backing off. But we're tied at 18, and for Longfellow, number 27 is Tatum Hall. Ball up. That one falls short, and it's 19-18 Wilson. And for General Johnnie Wilson, number 3 is Hannah Lurie. This is the point in the game where a little lead turns into a big one. Whistle. Foot fault. And we're going to be tied at 19 on the service error. And like I said earlier, that's something you might not see called in the beginning of September that you're going to see in the middle of October. As I guess that's expected growth.
Sure. Yeah, by the last game of the season, you should know to keep your foot off the back line.
6 is Destiny Velez. That one's up and over, and it's Nace. There was no communication there, and the ball hit the ground. And they both knew it. You know, one of the things that is so important in volleyball is just repetitions, 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 both in practice and during games. To get there are Metlicka, and that was Swigert, Metlicka. Over. Velez, but nobody home. And we'll go tied at 20. Again, communication, communication, communication. For Johnnie Wilson, April Torres, number 8. Bumped up, but out. Off the hands of Marrero, and Johnnie Wilson takes a 21-20 lead. You know, Joe, when we talk about, repetition and ball touches, there are a lot of fundamentals in Longfellow that you don't need a team or even another person to practice.
That's right. Yeah.
The fundamentals are vital to every sport. And that one comes up off of Faria and goes long, and it's 22-20.
He's got a nice serve.
Yes. And that's one of those skills that you don't need another player to practice. You just need some volleyballs. And maybe somebody telling you to work on your form, what you need to do to correct your form a little bit. And the same thing is true with a lot of things. Passing the volleyball. All you need is a target and somebody hitting them at you. And you can do that, if it doesn't take a team, but it takes repetition, repetition, repetition to get good at fundamentals, just like it does in every other sport. But unlike a sport like wrestling, where if you're going to work on a move, you got to have somebody to practice it on.
Right.
You don't need somebody else to practice serving a volleyball. And, you know, for these young ladies, as their volleyball careers go on, you know, it's going to be very important. Ball touches, ball touches, ball touches. Wherever it is, during the summer on the beach, there's a nice program that goes on. You know, off season, I know some of them will play Junior Olympic or JO volleyball, which costs a lot of money, but there's open gyms and there's things like that. And
yeah, that's become so much integral part of the sport in the last 10, 15 years.
oh, it's unbelievable. Maybe more, you know, it's maybe more important than in any sport, I guess. Johnnie Wilson, number 8, April Torres, 22-20, they lead. Swatted over, short, bumped up, but nobody there. Really nice effort by Marrero, but it's 23-20.
He's got a nice spin on the ball, too.
Yeah, that one wasn't as good a serve as the others, but
Still hard to return.
yes, it is.
Watch me jinx it here.
You know what she did? She went with a different, the way she held her hand was different that time. She changed up. 23-21 as serve goes over to Longfellow. Important points here for Nia Smith, number 24. Ball up, ball over. Oh, and it's an ace. As, again, the communication factor. I don't think Raven Earl got any help. And it's 23-22.
Coach, you're right there. Call it.
Big point right here for Nia Smith.
Huge point.
Trying to tie it up at 23. Metlicka coming back at you and then bumped up by Earl.
Nice.
Over by Rivera and coming back and out. And we're all tied up, Joe.
Wow.
Well, that's an important point because if the serve goes over, the other team gets a point now. It's rally scoring, has been for some time. Ball up, ball over. This point is huge, and Metlicka's set comes down short, and it's 24-23 Longfellow.
Game point?
Game point for Longfellow. Wilson needs to win the point to stay in it. Ball up, ball over, bumped up, coming back at you. Swig it, Metlicka, and down.
Oh, what's the call? I'm waiting. They were both in the net.
That's okay. The only vote that matters is Bill Tippy up on the ladder.
That's why he didn't hold his hand either way. I guess it's a do-over.
Yep, there it is.
Oh.
25 for Longfellow, 23 for Wilson. The in the nets weren't in the nets, I guess. I mean, they both made contact, but the question is, you know, any more?
Yeah, I didn't see the call, and I guess
there wasn't a call.
Right.
And you know, I guess the call there, when there's not a call, the call is the play stands.
Yeah.
And the ball came down on the Wilson side of the net. So Longfellow had a big lead, lost it, and then came back to win game one, 25-23. The teams are changing ends. We'll be back with the second game right after this timeout.
The Warriors to Work program makes it possible for wounded warriors and their families to build new lives together.
When my dad left, I was like this big, but now I'm like this big. My dad got a master's degree in human resources.
Thanks to Warriors to Work that my dad has a terrific job.
The Wounded Warrior Project helps him by, giving him another start.
Now that my dad's home, I get a lot more hugs.
I'm really proud of him.
Find out more about Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home, the brave.
Jay Ferguson, Joe Bach back here at Johnnie Wilson. Game 2, 7th grade volleyball. Johnnie Wilson to the right now, losing the first game, 23-25. They have first server Haley Metlicka. Also on the floor, Nadia Alvarez, number 24. Number 8, April Torres. Number 12 is Tanzania Hildreth. 23, Abby Carrington. And number 3, Hanaluri. Longfellow bumping it back. We'll get those numbers as we go here. And Longfellow's going to win the first point. And they'll come back with the server, number 7, Kiasha Johnson. Number 4 is Claire Smith. Number 5, Jada Colbert. Ball over and in. Ace for Longfellow. And Johnson. Front row for Longfellow. 12 is Haley Marrero. 14 is Tatiana Marrero. Number 11 is Yasmin Faria. And that's Johnnie Wilson. I believe I misspoke earlier and said Longfellow. Well, that is Longfellow. I'm sorry. The blue is blinding me. Misplay on the return, and it's...
Well, good thing they're not playing basketball, Jay. We'd have a real mess here.
Longfellow 3-0. Again, serving for Longfellow, Kiasha Johnson. That one's short, under the net, and on the error, it goes over.
And you can just hear it just came off her hand wrong.
It's really funny because when you're in the gym, you almost don't need to look. You just need to listen to tell.
Yes.
For Wilson, number 12 is Tanzania Hildreth. 3-1 Longfellow here. Mr. Tippy's checking the lineups. Signals the server. Now we're going to have a lineup check from... Okay. Okay, that fixes the lineup. Serve up, bumped right back. Metlick to her knees, climbs the tape, and it's 3-2 Longfellow. Hildreth again on the line. That serve played back in and over. Faria to her knees. Carrington back to the middle of the net, but nobody there. And it's 4-2 Longfellow. And for Longfellow, number 11 is Faria. Yasmin Faria, that's a BB.
Nice.
When it all comes together like that, it's fun to watch, isn't it? And that one, she caught just at the right point, because so much of the serving is the toss and where you hit it in relation to your body. If you hit it too far in front, your arm's on the way down, and the ball's going to hit the floor. And if you hit it too far behind your head, it's going to go up in the air. That was a beauty.
That's why I love to see him serving overhand.
And
even if they,
and you know what? You could hear the sound difference.
Right.
I don't know if our mics will pick that up, but we could hear it here in the gym. On the missed serve, it's 5-3 Longfellow, and Carrington serves. That one you heard good contact to.
Thud.
And it carried deep. 5-4 Longfellow. Ball up, bumped up by Marrero and over, and then not getting far enough under it was Rivera for Wilson, and it'll go to Longfellow at 6-4. Number 14 for Longfellow, Tatiana Marrero. Substitution, Claire Smith out, number 4, and 17. Elizmarie Guadalupe in for Longfellow. Marrero signaled to serve. Ball up, over, deep, Carrington, saved, and then everybody called it. You could tell that, Joe.
Yeah, and then at the last second, everybody backed up.
And I guess you'd rather have that than have them come together, because nobody called it. Marrero Another deep serve. That's the one that nobody called.
Right.
8-4, substitution, Raven Earl into the back row. (8-4) Longfellow. Ball up. That one's deep. No service. The serve, what? There was no whistle yet. So I believe they're going to send it back. One of those sports where the official has to put the ball in play every time. Now he says serve, and now it's your turn. Marrero, ball up. Metlicka, Raven Earl, and didn't get under it far enough, and it's 9-4 Longfellow.
Actually benefited Longfellow because
Absolutely.
The ball on the one that didn't count was out.
Absolutely it did. Substitution for Wilson, 26 Idea Swiggett into the ball game. Marrero, good deep serve, Earl. And a little too close to the podium to be played there. And it's 10-4 Longhorns. I guess Lady Longhorns a little bit of a non sequitur. Ball up. Deep, Earl, and it just ate her up. That serve just ate her up, and it came off and went long, 11-4. She's been on a nice little run here, Marrero. 5 in a row. And I don't mean to be a jinx. Carrington. Swiggett. Carrington, that's going to make it over.
Nice.
Bumped up and down on the floor. 12-4. Wilson looks a little bit flat-footed, Joe. They're not reacting well. The ball's in the air, maybe as much as they did in some of the other times we saw him, when we saw him against Milkovich, for example. Ball up, Marrero. That one's a slice and goes out of bounds. But it's 12-5. She got the serve at 6-4 and served 6 points before the error.
Nice little run.
Yes, it is. Johnnie Wilson, number 3, Hannah Lurie on the line. Big point in the game for Wilson. And that serve's going to be short, and it's 13-5. Substitution for Longfellow. Into the game, number 36, Caitlin Sutton, replaces number 7, Kiasha Johnson. And on the line for Longfellow is number 12, Haley Marrero. That serve up and over, but...
Oh, it's in. It's in.
It's an ace.
Yep. I was calling it.
Yeah, you had the call, and I had the call too. But you know, that's part of learning this is also to try and train some line judges.
Right.
And he was going to look and going to look and going to look, because nobody had a better look at it than him.
That's right.
14-5.
Well, I had a pretty good look with the camera.
Yes, Haley Marrero. That one's not going to get there, and it's going to be 14-6 as it goes back to Johnnie Wilson and number 26, Swiggett, Idea Swiggett.
If General Johnnie here can mount a little bit of a rally.
Well, they did last game. Bumped up and over by Marrero, comes back, sent right back over. Again, Guadalupe, but nobody there. 14-7, Longfellow.
The idea was good, but just no execution.
And you know what? Part of this is you want to see good ideas. You want to see kids trying to pass the ball. That serve, that's a good one.
Pull it.
And then bumped over. Nicely done by the ladies from Longfellow. Right back, bumped back over, and out. So it'll be 14-8. Idea Swiggett. She served 2 points. Another good serve. Marrero sends it right back. Metlicka sends it back, and then Guadalupe, and it comes back wide, and it'll go back over to Longfellow after that 2-point run, and it's 15-8. And it looks like our substitution for Longfellow, Destiny Velez, will come in and serve, replacing Jada Colbert, number 5. For the Longhorns. They're up a game. They're up 15-8. Johnnie Wilson, to get back in this, they've got to limit Longfellow winners and put together some of their own. And that one almost well played.
Yeah.
But it'll go over at 15-9. And for Wilson, number 8, April Torres is on the line. 15-9. Ball up. That's going to come down wide, and it's going to be 16-9 Longfellow. And the serve is going to come back to Elsmarie Guadalupe. Nope, she's going to come out. And number 4, Claire Smith, is going to come in for Longfellow. Claire served earlier in the match and scoring a point. (16-9). The call is to serve, and that one comes up and over, and bumped up and back over by Faria. Claire Smith bumps it up, but wide of Sutton, and it'll go back at 16-10. Johnnie Wilson back on the service line with number 19, Haley Metlicka. Underhand serve sent right back over. Coming back and missed by Haley Marrero, but touched just enough that it is a point for the Eagles. 16-11 Longfellow, game 2. Longfellow won the first game. Metlicka, underhand serve, not going to get there. And it's 17-11 Longfellow, and it comes back. Substitution for Longfellow. Sutton's going to come out, and Kiasha Johnson is going to come in to serve. And she served earlier in the game and served a couple of points. The first time through, 17-11. Over. That was a BB, but it comes back. Haley Marrero, tipped over by Tatiana Marrero, and it's a winner. 18-11. That was nicely done because it was a great serve and a good dig.
That's a nice serve at even high school level.
Good dig in the back row by Metlicka. Johnson again, overhand serve. That one's just not straight, and it's 12-18.
I like the effort, though, and she'll refine that. And by the time she gets to high school, she'll have a killer.
She's got her body twisted a little bit there. Other than that, it was a good serve. For Wilson, it's Raven Earl. Up and over. Lack of communication results in a couple Longhorns coming together, and point to Wilson. Raven Earl back on the line. Her Eagles down 3, or 5 rather. Bumped right back over there. I heard them all yelling out. And it's 18-14.
Here we go.
Creeping right back in, about the stage where they did last game, Joe. Earl. Underhand serve. Marrero. Faria. And she was only able to play it into the net, and it's 18-15. Nice little run. Timeout Longfellow. Again, as much as anything, to break the momentum of the server these are used for. And Longfellow, whose biggest lead of this match, let's see, they were up 7 a couple of times. They were up 8 at 12-4 was the biggest lead. So the 8-point lead's been carved down to 3. And if I recall, in the last game, they had a big early lead. 14-6 was an 8-point lead, and then Johnnie Wilson came all the way back and caught him at 16. And that's just about the same point in the game we are now. So Wilson trying to stay alive here, force a game 3. Back from the timeout, number 13, Raven Earl on the line for Johnnie Wilson. She's served 3. And that one's up and over. Claire Smith bumps it back over. Here it comes. Tatiana Marrero sends it a little deeper. Metlicka. Claire Smith sends it back. Swig it up. Marrero tries to one-hand it. I don't care what level of volleyball it is. That's the toughest play, when it comes right down on the net. It's 18-16. Substitution. Tatiana Marrero out. Number 8, Mercedes Rivera in. Raven Earl with 4 points in a row. Underhands it over. Rivera bumped up deep. Going up with one hand was Kiesha Johnson, and she had the right plan, but just didn't hit it solid. Just like baseball, keep your eye on the ball. It's 18-17. Wilson trying to get back even after being down 8. Bumped up and over but out, and it's going to be 18-all.
Wow.
We'll play to 7. Again, the games are 25. Got to win by 2. And as you say, Joe, I'm sure that one of these 7th grade games the last time we were here was 30-28. Faria. That was nicely done. And
finally broke the serve.
Longfellow breaks their serve and is rewarded with the lead at 19-18. And for Longfellow, number 11, Yasmin Faria. I think this is the person they'd want on the line. Ball up. Overhand serve, bumped up and off the official stand, and it's 20-18.
Small in stature, but a very nice serve.
This is a big point here, because if you get up 3 at this point in the game and turn it over, you're still up the 2 you need to be up. Bumped back over. Faria off her arms in the wrong way, and it's 19 for Johnnie Wilson, 20 for Longfellow. And for Johnnie Wilson, number 23, Abby Carrington on the line. And I think if you asked the Johnnie Wilson coaches who they wanted on the service line in this point of the game, this is the answer you'd get. So that one's deep. Claire Smith, just too much, and game tied at 20. Carrington again. Bumped up. Claire Smith. And then lack of communication, and they come together and it goes the wrong way. And Johnnie Wilson all the way back on top, 21-20. Abby Carrington. That one's not going to make it over, and we're going to stay tied at 21. Back to Longfellow. And for Longfellow, number 8, Mercedes Rivera, will be on the service line. That's the first time in this game that she will have served. Ball up, ball over, and a winner, an ace. 21 and 22 for Longfellow. And we'll do it again. Again, a little bit more important to Johnnie Wilson here. They're playing to stay in the game. Longfellow's playing to end the match here. Ball up. just didn't get there, and we're tied at 22. And again, you could hear the different sound.
Yep.
Just not hit as solid. And for Johnnie Wilson, number 3, Hannah Lurie. Will serve. Tied at 22. These next couple of points, you want to be ahead at this point. Guadalupe in for Claire Smith. And Lurie is signaled to put it in play. All set for the overhander. Bumped over, but comes right back from Guadalupe, and then bumped out, and Longfellow goes back on top, 23-22. And for Longfellow on the line, Haley Marrero.
Huge point.
Ginormous point.
That too. Oh.
And that one falls short, and it's 23-all. Substitution for Longfellow, 36, is Caitlin Sutton. She's coming in for number 7, Kiasha Johnson. On the service line for Wilson is number 26, Swiggett, and that one goes wide. So the situation is, as the serve comes over to number 5, Jada Colbert, who hasn't served yet because she had been subbed out. A winner here ends the game for Longfellow. Johnnie Wilson playing for their lives in this match. Colbert didn't make it, and we're tied at 24. Maybe it's the tension. Johnnie Wilson goes back on serve, tied at 24, and it's number 8, April Torres. Big deep breath. Ball up, ball over, bumped up and back over by Guadalupe, bumped up once, and collision on that side of the floor, and Longfellow will have yet another chance. Their second match point, and serving will be 17, Elsmarie Guadalupe. Let's see if she has served. I don't believe she has. Ball up. BB. And that was an ace. And Longfellow, 26. That was a good game. 26-24 Longfellow in the second game, following up on 25-23 in the first game. So what did we learn, Joe? Those two teams are pretty evenly matched.
Very evenly matched.
Because like we say, we know we had a 30-28 game the first time around. So the ladies from Longfellow, the 7th graders, finish on top in the Battle of Lorraine second time around. It was 25-23, 26-24. And congratulations to the young ladies from both schools on a fine season. Joe and I are going to step away, then we'll be back with the 8th grade match after this timeout.
This has been a production of Lorraine City Schools, TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorraine City Schools Television at 282-8400.
For all of your sports news in Lorraine, keep watching WLCS TV 20, Lorraine City Schools Television.
Jay Ferguson, Joe Bach back here at Johnnie Wilson. The ladies, the 8th grade ladies from Longfellow on the service line with number 2, Carissa Holcomb. And ball up, and the first point under the way, and there's an ace. That was a BB between people, and Longfellow goes on top. She is joined in the back row by number 30, Caitlin Ramey Rowland, and number 31, Alexa Cologne. Ball up. There's another BB to the same spot. Played, but off the arms and long. Back-to-back winners. Front row for Longfellow, number 1, Molly Codman, number 2, Amaya Robinson, and somebody else who's behind the official. 2-0 Longfellow. Ball up, another rope. That one off the arms of 28 on a Sturgill, and it's 3-0. The
example of good serving.
Third player is Sarah Colbert in the front row for Longfellow. For Johnnie Wilson in the front row, Malia Mimi Amador. Number 31 is Demaya Leva, and number 6, playing under an assumed number, is Sydney Patterson. On a Sturgill, bumps it up, Amador over. Bumped up by Holcomb, set, and the attempt at a hit just didn't get there, fell short. But Joe, as we talked in the 7th grade, there's what you try to get them to do by the time they're through the 8th grade play, through 3 hits. For Johnnie Wilson on the line, number 10 is Marissa Sturgill. Anna Sturgill is in the middle of the back row, and there's an ace going the other way, 3-2 Longfellow. The 6th player for Wilson is number 2, Liana Brooks. Last game of the season for these ladies from both schools, and I think it's been a very successful season for both schools. Marissa up. Molly Codman digs it up, bumped up, and then sent over by Robinson, bumped over and sent right back on a Sturgill. Marissa Sturgill, the setter, one-handed over, and it's a winner for Demaya Leva, and it ties the score at 3. Joe, that was the way volleyball's supposed to be. 3 hits, pass, bump, set, spike, or overhand. Sturgill, bumped up, played off the net by Patterson for a winner, and it's 4-3 Johnnie Wilson. For those of you that are possessors of the Sydney Patterson trading card and wanting to know why she's wearing number 6 rather than the usual 25, Mom says she left it at home. Patterson with another one at the net, but that one didn't get there. It crawled the tape on her, and it'll go over to Longfellow, tied at 4. Number 1, Molly Codman on the line. Overhand toss, well done. Nice dig there by Brooks, bumped up by Sturgill, over by Patterson. Coming back over by Brooks, and tipped back and down. Nice play by 31 Alexa Cologne to get it over top of the Johnnie Wilson front line and down. Codman again. Ball up, ball smacked over. Anna Sturgill sends it right back. Tipped over. Marissa Sturgill, Amador. Marissa Sturgill sends it deep off Codman and down, and it'll be 5-all. And for Wilson, number 6, Sydney Patterson. Ball up. And there's another nice overhand serve. Molly Codman plays it up. Holcomb, and then tipped over and down by Sarah Colbert. And it'll be 6-5 Longfellow. And the serve goes over back to Longfellow. Number 2, Maya Robinson. Ball up, ball smacked over, bumped up by Brooks. Marissa Sturgill sends it over. Robinson, Carissa Holcomb. One-handed over by Ramey Rowland. Marissa Sturgill sends it back. Holcomb, bumped up and over by who was 31, and that is Alexa Cologne for the win. 7-5 Longfellow. Ball up again. That one's not going to get there. And again, as we point out, Joe, that just has a different sound to it.
Yes.
Johnnie Wilson on the line, Demaya Leva, number 31. Ball up. Swatted over, and for a winner, lack of communication. One of my bugaboos in every sport. In the sport that I coach, basketball, if you don't communicate, you're not really playing as a team. But this one is 7-7, and Leva is serving again. There's a good one. Bumped up by Holcomb, but wide, and when it comes down, it's 8-7, Johnnie Wilson. Leva yet again, ball up. Another good serve. Codman tries to dig. Holcomb sends it over. Nice play there by Longfellow. Marissa Sturgill, and then Amador sends it back up by Codman. Up higher by Robinson, and then sent over by Colbert. Codman goes to her knees to send it back. Bumped up. Brooks not able to dig it that time. Point to Johnnie Wilson. Nicely done by the ladies from both sides. Good point. And that sends Leva back to the line. She served 3 points. 9-7 Wilson. Ball up. Another good serve. Ace. 10-7. Ball up. That one comes deep. Robinson passes it. Bumped over by Colbert. Up by Patterson. Leva. And then too close to be played there at the net. And we'll go over to Longfellow. A nice run there by Leva, though. Serving 4 in a row. For Longfellow, Sarah Colbert is number 23 on the line. That's a good serve. It's off Leva and rolls long. Joe, do you see any difference in the
level of play is much better.
The serves?
Absolutely.
Specifically, again, that's a fundamental skill. And that's a fundamental skill you can practice all you want, as long as you're willing to chase balls at the other end of the gym. Ball up. Another good serve. Bumped up over Holcomb. Set, and then Holcomb that's Ramey Rowland will hit. And that one doesn't make it back, and it's all tied at 10. On Sarah Colbert's serve. She served 2 points, and they've both been BBs. Here's another good one. Top spin. Leva, Sturgill, and bumped over by Brooks. Back up. Brooks sent back. Leva, or Ramey Rowland. Holcomb. And then sent over by Colbert. Sturgill. Holcomb. Colbert. Holcomb just got too far underneath it. And it'll go back to Johnnie Wilson with the score 11-10. Malia Amador on the line for Wilson. Ball up. Ooh. I don't know if we had communication or she just knew where she was, but Carissa Holcomb let it go and it came up wide. And we're tied at 11. And for Longfellow, number 31, Alexa Cologne on the line. Ball up. That one's going to be over. Marissa Sturgill to her knees. Ramey Rowland bumped up by Colbert, over by Holcomb. Amador sends it back. It's bumped up by Robinson, and Codman tries to one-arm it over, and it goes wide. 12-11 Wilson.
Just like the 7th grade
back and
match.
Forth. It was at this point in the 7th grade match that Actually, Longfellow tried to take charge both times, and Wilson made a charge back. Brooks, Holcomb, Colbert, Holcomb. Just not getting it there. And generally that means that you're hitting when your arm is on the way down. There's a lot of timing. Holcomb bumped up by Robinson and too close to the net for Colbert to get it across. And Johnnie Wilson with a little run here. Up 14-11. They've had the last three. Leona Brooks, ball up. Nice serve, good play by Holcomb. And Colbert tried to play it off the net, and it just kind of ate her up. Didn't come off the way she expected, I think. 15-11. Johnnie Wilson, game one. Ball up. Codman goes to her knees. Good try by Alexa Colon, but unable to get enough underneath it in the front row. And Wilson's had 5 in a row and leads at 16-11.
Largest lead of the match.
Yep. Holcomb bumps it up. Colbert. Holcomb's going to two-hand it over. Brooks. Amador. Bumped right back over by Longfellow. Leyva. Amador. Patterson. Robinson. And this is Ramey Rowland. Sturgill. Amador again. Codman bumps it up. Holcomb sends it deep. Sturgill sent back over by Anna Sturgill, off the net, and Longfellow unable to play it, and just like that, it's 17-11. Leona Brooks, she served 5 in a row. That one's going to make it 6. Yes, too hot to handle over there. 18-11, Johnnie Wilson.
Any more points here, I think Longfellow is going to call a timeout.
I would think. Holcomb, Ramey Rowland, Colbert. That was a nice save there. Leyva saves that one. Sturgill sends it wide on the reverse, and it's 18-12, and Longfellow finally breaks. Number 30, Caitlin Ramey Rowland. Ball up, coming over. Bumped up by Anna Sturgill. Marissa Sturgill gets it over. Ramey Rowland plays it over to Holcomb. Amador sends it back, comes right back from Robinson. Brooks, Amador, Marissa Sturgill. Bump up by Cologne. Codman sends it over. Patterson plays it up. Brooks, Amador. That was Robinson. Sturgill, Amador, Sydney Patterson, and that one's going to go wide. That was a good point.
The best volley of the night.
Yep. And, you know, Joe, the thing that impresses me with that volley is that they were all trying to play 3 hits. Serve from Longfellow didn't make it, and we'll go over at 19-13. And for Johnnie Wilson, Anna Sturgill, number 28, is on the line. Overhand serve. Codman, Ramey Rowland, and then unable to be brought back. Coach Wilt might have taken off the noggin there as Holcomb tried to bring it back. 20-13, Johnnie Wilson. Anna Sturgill, ball up. Good topspin serve for the ace. She's got a very powerful serve. Her father is the interim principal of the high school. Anna's the most athletic of the 3 Sturgill children. Ball up. Another one.
Wow.
Winner.
Nice.
See, as I just commented. 22-13, Johnnie Wilson. We were tied at 11, believe it or not, and it's been 11-2 since then. Sturgill, another good serve. That one's going to come wide.
Wow.
It's just, the serves are eating them up now. You had a nice run by Leanna Brooks, followed by this run by Anna Sturgill. Ball up, deep middle, ace. 24-13. And this has been quite the display here, Joe.
It sure has.
She served 5 in a row. Obviously, she's got a chance to serve game point with this one here. 24-13 in game 1. Ball up. And that one.
Oh. Nice run, though.
Very nice run. Means they're dormy, which, unless Longfellow serves 10 in a row, nobody from Johnnie Wilson's going to serve.
That's right.
Longfellow, number 22, Carissa Holcomb, she ran off 3 points in a row at the beginning of the game with serves like that, but that one goes wide, and it's 25-15, Johnnie Wilson in game 1. The teams will change ends, and we'll take a break, and we'll be back with game 2 right after this timeout.
I started mentoring my mentee, Dantre, 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important. Anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
Back here at Johnnie Wilson, that is Marissa Sturgill for Johnnie Wilson serving the first one. Anna Sturgill bumps it over. 25 for Longfellow is Aspicia. Bumped over by Trellis Hall. Up by Marissa Sturgill. Malia Amador sends it back, but off the net and well done. And that was Hall getting it over. Back to Longfellow. Bumped up and sent over, and Anna Sturgill, and somebody made a play at the net. Marissa Sturgill makes another one. Carissa Holcomb over by Lauren McMillan. Sturgill sends it deep. Aspicia with that one, but it didn't get over in time. So 1-0 Wilson. They won the first game. Serve over, and too hot to handle for Naya Aspicia, number 25. She's on the floor for Longfellow. In front of her in the middle is number 18, Trellis Hall. No call there. We're all anxiously waiting. The line judge, instead of signaling, went to chase the ball. And that was the, I guess it was in call. Ace for Marissa Sturgill. That one's going to go in the net. As the kids that I coach would say, ball don't lie. So for Longfellow, 22 is Carissa Holcomb. She will serve. Front row for Longfellow, Trellis Hall, 18. 34, Lauren McMillan. And 23, Sarah Colbert. Back row is number 10, Alasia Johnson, and number 25, Naya Aspicia. Lineup check here for Longfellow. Make sure they're in the right order. It's all part of it, Joe. How many times, even at the varsity level, have we seen matches swing on an out of order?
Better to be
call.
safe than sorry. It doesn't cost anything.
That's right.
Get a lineup check.
Carissa Holcomb.
Compliance.
3-1 Johnnie Wilson. Winner. Too low for Hilco, and it's 3-2 on the winner. That one goes deep, up off Amador, tried to bring back by Anna Sturgill, but nothing done, and it's 3-3. Marissa Holcomb. Good serve, top spin. Amador plays it up and over. Bumped up by McMillan and then sent over by Holcomb. Hilko, back over by Hall. Bumped up by Aspicia and then sent over. Hilko, Sturgill, Amador. That's just long. That's how it's done, though. Bump, set, spike. And it's 4-3. Longfellow. Holcomb back on the line. Another good top spin serve. Bumped in the front row there by Brianna Fernandez, 20, but the top spin carried it long. 5-3 for Wilson. In the front row, 10 Marissa Sturgill, 14 Zanaya Dampier, and Brianna Fernandez, number 20. Hannah Hilko, 17, Anna Sturgill, 28, Malia Amador, 11. Bumped up Holcomb, and then dinked over by Trellis Hall, and will stay at Longfellow, 6-3. Holcomb. That one's a little bit low, and it'll go over to Wilson, but Longfellow with a 6-4 lead. On the line, Zanaya Dampier, number 14 for Johnnie Wilson. Overhand serve up and good. Colbert tipped up and over, and what they did was they got McMillan from in the net on that tip. Her foot was over the line, and the coach is over there nodding, yeah. And it's 6-5 Longfellow. Once again, Dampier on the line. Johnnie Wilson won the first game. So Longfellow unable to return that one, and that'll make it 6-all. Up, Dampier one-arms it over. Bumped up by 25 Aspicia, but not over, and it'll go back at 7-6 Wilson. That one clears it, sent right back over by McMillan. Bumped up, Marissa Sturgill, sent over with one hand. Nicely done on the floor there by Trellis Hall. Bumped up by Alasia Johnson, but into the net, and it's 8-6 Longfellow. There are a couple of nice individual efforts there, Joe. Dampier. Ball up, ball over. Colbert. Aspicia, Colbert, and over. Amador, Sturgill sends it back. Colbert, McMillan, in, and it'll come over to Longfellow at 8-7. And for Longfellow, number 18 is Trellis Hall. Ball up, fisted over. And you couldn't have walked over and dropped it any better than that, huh?
Wow.
That was right in the corner for an ace at 8-8. I don't know how you improve on perfection. That one's short. Hilko goes to her knees, bumps it up off the net. Marissa Sturgill, and then Malia Amador. Bumped up by Holcomb, Colbert, McMillan, Hilko, McMillan, Holcomb, McMillan sends it deep, and there's a winner.
Same spot.
Yeah, and it's 9-8 Longfellow. Trellis Hall on the service line, ball up, and that one's fisted over but wide, 9-9. For Johnnie Wilson, number 20, Brianna Fernandez will serve. Team's tied at 9, game 2. Wilson won the first game, 25-14. Bumped up by Especia, sent over by Holcomb. Especia, caught Holcomb on the way up, and it's going to go over to Johnnie Wilson at 10-9. Fernandez. Ball up and over. Ace. My favorite thing, Joe. Nobody talked.
No communication.
Ball up, ball over, bumped up by Hall. Sturgill sets it, Amador hits it, and it's down. 12-9. I think last game we were tied at 11 before Johnnie took over. This one was tied at 9, and 3 in a row now from Fernandez have given Wilson tying their biggest lead of the game at 3 points. For Longfellow, number 21, Emily Fairchild in the lineup. Fernandez bumped up. McMillan sends it over, bumped up by Sturgill, on a Sturgill, and then back to Marissa, who has the down ball for a winner. You think the two cousins might have done that once or twice together?
Yep.
13-9 as another substitution for Longfellow, number 10, Alasia Johnson into the back row, replacing Fairchild. Ball up, Fernandez, bumped up by Especia and then sent over. Hilko sends it right back. McMillan, and just too wide, and it's 14-9, Johnnie Wilson. Brianna Fernandez, ball up, ball over. Bumped up by Especia and sent over by Johnson. And it comes back for a winner. So Fernandez has served 6 in a row, and the lead is 6. Ball up, and I jinxed her. 15-10, but she got it at even, and they're up 5, so that's a good run. 34, Lauren McMillan for Longfellow on the line. And Longfellow needs some points. That one comes over, bumped up by Anna Sturgill, and then Marissa Sturgill sends it over. Bumped up by Especia, sent over by Johnson, sent deep by Marissa Sturgill, and sent back but short by Trellis Hall, and it's 16-10. And Joe, there was an old TV show many years ago where a robot used to say, "Danger, Will Robinson," and that's right about where Longfellow is now. They're down 6, 16-10. They lost the first game. That was Amador. Bumping it up was Trellis Hall. Hilko set it up, but nobody got under it, and it'll be 16-11. .23 Sarah Colbert for Longfellow. One hands that one over. Nice dig by Marissa Sturgill, and then bumped over by Anna Sturgill. Fernandez. Amador sends it back with 2 hands. Nice play by McMillan. Fernandez Dampier sent it over, and it didn't come back. Winner for Wilson, 17-11. And for Wilson, number 17, Hannah Hilko on the line. One hand for Hannah, up. Good serve there. McMillan to one knee, Colbert, and then sent over by Holcomb. And I believe I said McMillan when it was Carissa Holcomb who played it the first time, and it's 17-12. Longfellow hanging around, it would be the word I'd use. If you're not getting closer at this point in the game, you're just lingering. Naya Especia on the line. Down 5. That one's one-handed over, bumped up by Fernandez and over. Oops. And it'll come back to Longfellow, and I'm sure that they don't want to see this. Number 28, Anna Sturgill, who was so effective serving out the end of the game last game with the last 6 points. Bumped up, but long off of Hall, and it's 19-12. Substitution for Longfellow, number 3, Autumn Liebes in for Trellis Hall. Anna Sturgill on the line. Over again, long, bumped up by Especia, and then sent over by Colbert. Anna Sturgill, Amador. And that one sent long by Dampier, and the serve will go over at 19-13.
Big sigh of relief for Longfellow to break Sturgill's serve.
Yes. For Longfellow, Alasia Johnson needs to make something happen here now as we're getting, the closer you get to the end, the lead grows exponentially. That one's off the wire and in, and the wire is out of play, so it'll go over at 20-13. And Marissa Sturgill, number 10, cousin of Anna Sturgill, will serve. That serve is deep. Played up by Especia, but nobody home, and it's 21-13.
One more, Marissa, let's go.
Ball up. Over. Holcomb bumps it up. Especia. And then sent over by Liebes. Bumped up by Fernandez. Sent over by Sturgill. Especia. Colbert. And then tipped back over, but on the net is one of the Longhorns. Couldn't tell whether it was 10 Sturgill or 20 Fernandez. But it doesn't matter. It's a point for Longfellow. And it's 21-14. And for Longfellow, Carissa Holcomb on the line, who's very effectively served 5 points to begin the game. Bumped up by Sturgill, Hilko, and trying to fist it over, but unable to get under it was Marissa Sturgill. And it's 21-15. Carissa Holcomb, Hilko, and that one come off the arm sideways. And it's 21-16. That one had some pace to it, Joe.
That's just what Longfellow needs.
Somebody get on a little bit of a roll.
That's right. Holcomb is just the person to do it.
Yep.
2 in a row here.
And 7 points in the 7 of their 16 on the line in the game. Ball up. Bumped up by Fernandez. Amador sends it back into the hole. Nobody there.
Wow.
Nicely done by Mimi Amador. And for Wilson, number 14, Zanaya Dampier on the line. She served 4 in a row earlier in the game. She won't have to do that now. First one's over and bumped up and long by Colbert. It's 23-16 Wilson.
2 more will take the match.
Watch the line, 14.
Dampier. That one comes up short, Colbert. And then smacked back across by Amador for the winner, 24-16. 8 match points for Longfellow. Ball up. That was Especia and sent over by McMillan. Sturgill gets it over, McMillan gets it back. Hilko sends it over. Bumped up by Liebes, Holcomb, McMillan, Hilko, Sturgill Amador rather, and in straight sets, 25-14, 25-16. The ladies from Johnnie Wilson, 8th grade style, conclude their season with their second win of the year over the ladies from Longfellow. But Joe, as we were saying earlier at the end of the 7th grade match, what growth I have seen in some of these volleyball players through this season. And
the levels too between the 7th and 8th grade, just a huge difference.
You can see that as well. But the 8th graders from both schools performed admirably today. But it was Johnnie Wilson with the win in 2, 25-14, 25-16.
Jay, this'll do it for our volleyball for the year here, regular season volleyball here on TV 20.
It's been fun.
And thank you so much for stepping up this season. When Cheryl Bancic, our normal TV 20 commentator, went to assist in the coaching.
And her daughter plays.
That's right.
So yeah, no problem. Been my pleasure. And we'll see you again on Friday night for football. But as you say, that's the end of the volleyball coverage, regular season style, for WLCS TV 20. And Joe, it's been great fun. I appreciate it. So for my good buddy Joe Bach, Jay Ferguson saying have a good night, everybody.
This has been a production of Lorraine City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorraine City Schools Television at 282-8400.